All right, welcome in a special edition of SoCal Saturdays here on the Horse Racing Happy Hour Network. My name's Louis Reveau. We are paddock side here at Del Mar Racecourse, of course, ahead of Breeders' Cup Saturday, Breeders' Cup 2025. Thanks so much for starting your Saturday with us here. As I said, paddock side. We'll have three guests today. Barry Spears will join us, of course. You know him from SoCal Saturdays. He'll kick off the show here. Talk to our friend Carlos Morales. He's in from Florida. We'll get his thoughts. He's with Agentes 305. Of course, great connections there as well within the horse racing community there in Florida, but of course on Spanish language side of things for sure. We'll bring in Danny Brewer. Talked with a bunch of connections at the barns the last couple of days as well. We'll get his thoughts on a bunch of races there as well. Want to thank our great partners this week. Of course, our friends over at AmWager been hanging out with us all year on this program. AmWager.com. Go check them out right now for a sign up bonus. How about this? You put in $1, they put in $1, up to $150 right now. If you haven't checked out their site, go over right now. Amwager.com, amwager.com, 100% deposit match up to $150. And our friends at Never Say Die Bourbon, one of the great partners that we've been able to pick up here. Just a beautiful set of stuff. And hey, we've got Danny Brewer here, a contributor to Forbes, and Forbes magazine has called them the world's best bourbon. So thank them for hanging out with us this weekend as we roll through the card here. Bringing my partner here, Barry Spears, from the Horse Racing Happy Hour, of course, SoCal Saturdays. Breeders' Cup 2025. How was your Friday, man? Did you have fun here or what?
Oh, man, it was amazing. The weather was great. The racing was great. Can't wait to do it again today.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Let's go through quickly what we saw yesterday. And by the way, shout out someone who's been hanging out with us on the Horse Racing Happy Hour since essentially the beginning, Caitlin Oishi right here in LA. Thank you for the kind welcome back to Southern California. I was telling Barry on our way out here, just everybody's so nice.
Oh man, it's unbelievable.
It's literally from the rent-a-car desk to Jesus, who checked us in at the hotel, super nice guy. That you get to the track, security here, yeah, everybody's great. So it's been spectacular here in Southern California. Really enjoy being here for sure. But the day yesterday, I thought a couple of things stood out, and you were the first person to point this out to me. I thought, for example, the turf course, as long as you ride your race and your horse runs his race or her race, you got a shot, right? The turf course is playing fair. Now, is it a tight turf course here at Del Mar? Sure, but that has nothing to do with the conditions. That's just the layout of the track. But the dirt course, you pointed out something, and I agree with you.
Yeah, it seemed yesterday that you had to be up close in order to win. You know, it couldn't be more than maybe 3 lengths back at the top of the stretch in order to run somebody back down. There was a horse, I think it was AP.
Yeah, Mr. AP.
Mr. AP.
In the Juvie.
That kind of closed, but he wasn't really that far off of Ted Nafi or Brandt in that race. So it was kind of telling. And then you got Super Corridor going wire to wire.
Yep.
The theme was there all day.
And Ted Nafi was very much at the front. Yes,
forwardly
correct.
placed.
Yes.
Stalked. I mean, I would say personally, stalkers are probably the best trip.
So it's interesting. It affects a fair number of runners once we get to those later route dirt races, especially. We talk about distaff. We talk about classic with those kinds of running styles. It affects the defending champ in Sierra Leone. He's going to have to get going for this to matter in his case, right? And so I'll be interested to see if Flavien Prat doesn't try to get that. He reminds me a little of how Gstaad finished yesterday. Yes. Once he gets rolling, get out of the way, right? Sierra Leone's going to make his run. And gosh almighty, never missed the trifecta in his career. But boy, he's going to have to be closer to the pace if he wants to win here at least.
Yeah, I think he's up against it unless they try to something different and earlier.
Right.
That's really the key. Hopefully the rabbit helps him out and we'll see him come flying late, but we'll have to see that on the track.
Any great performances yesterday that stood out to you?
I thought Ted Nafi was excellent. You know, you pointed out to me that he kind of ran away from Brandt and the others right at the end, and he did. I think he got a little distracted mid-stretch and slowed down once he hit the lead, and then Johnny kind of got his attention again, and he kind of ran on, and that was really good to see.
Yeah, we talk about the re-break with routing horses where they're able to kick back in to that higher gear, especially that finishing gear when we're talking about, you know, especially when he goes from 1 mile and a 16th to some of these Derby preps. He's going to have to go 1 mile and an 1/8 and that sort of thing. The good news for him is he's not going to go in the Revson, right? So he's not going to have to do the 1 mile and an 1/8 right away. But as we get into that spring sort of schedule, is he going to stay in New York? Is he going to be a Florida horse, right? Typically with Pletcher, we would see him on the Florida Derby Trail. Sure. I imagine we'll see him at Gulfstream. And so some of those races, he'll get a little bit of a distance break, right? Yeah. So it'll be interesting seeing him move forward as well. Super Corridor, could she keep that going? Is that a style you think's repeatable for her?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, she's, you know, it's hard with 2-year-olds because they get fast and then some of them kind of move ahead to the top of the pack before everybody else blossoms. So you kind of get fooled a little bit sometimes when you see a horse run that good. But I think her style is very kind and will translate going forward.
Yeah, it's an interesting set of races. I thought a very repeatable performance was Gstaad. And I think once in a while, a horse like Rebels Romance, who we'll see later in the turf, and you and I will talk about that race later on in this show, can you repeat that performance, number one, for a 2-year-old, right? So Super Corridor, we think, and I agree with you, by the way, I think she can repeat those performances. That's how she's going to want to run throughout her career. Is Gstaad the next type of Rebels Romance where he prefers the flat here in the U.S., that style at least? So go run in Germany, run in some of those places in France, maybe Gstaad needs to be doing some of that.
Honestly, he kind of looked like Rebels Romance winning
a little bit, right?
He finished very, very strong and in the middle of the track. And I think when they pick their lane and get this horse free, he's going to run like a freight train.
Oisin Murphy, ride of the day yesterday?
Absolutely.
Valentina, yeah?
Absolutely.
Right up the rail, beautiful stuff, right?
He knew what he had under him, and all he had to do was save ground, and he did it. Everything opened up, and it was perfect.
Timing was impeccable for sure. The other part of that was the race where I went, okay, this is a fair turf course. Because he was mid-pack, maybe even 3/4 of the way back in that group, was able to move to the rail to make the move as well, so not a dead rail there. And by the way, on the dirt, should be said, not a dead rail at all on the dirt either.
Probably better.
Right, and frankly, but you do need to be close on the dirt there. Well, he's Barry Spears. He's the urban handicapper, the sniper, whatever you want to call him. I call him Barry. We'll bring you back in to close the show, my friend, just like we did on radio. I hope you've had an absolute blast this week, man. Let's keep it going today. Let's make some money. Let's have some fun. Hey, Carlos, we're trying to have a broadcast. Get your butt over here. We're trying to do stuff. Let's go. Carlos Morales is going to join us here from Ajetes 305. Look at him hanging out with us here on the program. Appreciate him jumping on. All right, Carlos.
Happy to do it.
I'm great. How was your Friday? I had the exact in the last race, 80-1. I'm doing okay today.
Oh,
might have had it for more than $1. I'm just saying.
So that means
not a bad day for your boy.
Dinner is on you.
Dinner's
tonight?
on me, unfortunately. Yes. Yeah. Next guest, Danny Brewer, already booked the reservation based on you. It's not. Listen, this is. But you know what? You know what that
smart.
is.
That's being smart.
Number one, he's playing chess, not checkers. Number two. That's why I love this, man. You know, I love the horses for sure, but it's the people around this sport that make it go. And you know,
100%.
You know what I mean? But like my first thought was, who am I buying dinner for? And that's the best way. No, but if your brain goes there rather than how do I hide this from my wife or something, you don't need that kind of stuff.
You're actually making it very public. So
yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's a pretty bad job by me. But no, we're out here paddock side at Del Mar, Louis Ribeau. This is Carlos Morales. Find him at Ajetes 305. Agents 305 on Twitter. Go find him there, especially if you're part of that Hispanohablante community here in the United States. Great resource for all things. What did you see yesterday as far as the track? Barry and I were just talking. I thought the turf course played very fair.
Yes.
As far as the conditions. The layout of the track, we can't change day to day, of course, right?
Not much that we can do about it.
Not too much about that. But we did say with the dirt course, it does seem like you need to be near the front. Not a lot of deep closures yesterday.
It was very fast yesterday, and I stayed late last night. And I saw the work that was done in the track. And if yesterday was fast, today it's going to be faster.
Okay.
So that's very important to know, taking into account that we have several sprint races, and even the dirt mile. So the way how it was worked out last night. This track is going to be very fast.
Very fast. And we see this a lot now in these, you know, as American racing has moved to these big days, right? Where, you know, Belmont Day is 7 grade ones in a row. Derby Day, we know what that is. Oaks Day, we know what that is. Even on Preakness Day, those sorts of days, Traverse Day, whatever it might be, we see the tracks really fast.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not too surprising to see that. Probably doesn't change our big day handicapping too much.
It is not. I think that the factor that is going to change in any capacity, the handicapping process, is going to be the scratches.
I agree with that.
That's like, you need to be like just like in the hints, like what's going on, who has the scratch.
No, that's right.
We have 4 latest scratches that changed the entire configuration of a race, like the Filia Mare Sprint
is completely different now.
Sweet Steca out, Tamara out. Now what's going to happen? Or Mystic Dan, that he was looking to play a role in the dirt mile, and he's out too.
Yep.
So
no, and sometimes this affects, you know, how you want to play an exacta. or
Oh,
trifecta,
100%.
especially because Mystic Dan, maybe not the most likely winner in the
Mhm.
dirt mile,
Mhm.
but he always puts in a good effort.
Oh yeah,
Right. You know, he's going to
100%.
be there to hit the board. And so it's that kind of stuff. You're right. You're going to have to adjust your handicapping throughout the day. So, Carlos, which races today? Give us a race today that you're really looking forward to, a matchup that you're really looking forward up to.
Oh, that's a really good question. Honestly, I'm very much looking forward for 3 different races. The first one is going to be the sprint. I'm cheering and looking forward to seeing Ventornado.
Yeah.
I think that horse has been amazing throughout the entire week. He already have the pred race, stakes race win in Churchill Downs
Yep.
back in September. He's doing phenomenal. The trainer Jose D'Angelo, it's very happy. I'm very excited about the condition.
He's
of
also
this
the
horse.
nicest person in horse racing.
He is.
He really is.
He and his team.
I'm
they
a
are
little,
amazing.
you know, the thing about Jose is I have to remind myself that I'm handicapping the horse, not how nice he is. Like, you know,
You are
we're
right.
just handicapping on
You're right.
niceness. I would always pick Jose's
You're right.
horses. The interesting thing about his move there to the Louisville Thoroughbred Society, a listed stakes, people might look, why is Ben Tornado in this company? The answer is very simple, I think, for me. Number one, money, $300,000 race.
Mhm.
But number two, it's a little bit of a Brad Cox type of move.
Mhm.
Give the horse some confidence.
Yes.
Get him back in the winner's circle off of a layoff like that. I like the
Yeah.
move a lot, frankly.
Yeah. Let's always keep in mind the last time that this horse ran prior to that thoroughbred
Society, yep.
race, the thoroughbred society race.
Yep.
It was actually the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Yes. That's right.
He was in a long layoff leading to, but how do you prepare the horse to run in the
Right.
new edition of the Breeders' Cup Sprint? Take it to a nice one, easy one that he can actually regain that confidence, show that he has still the power and the performance that you're expecting from him, and then use that as the perfect setup for his next race, which is going to be the one that we will be seeing today. That's one of the races that I'm expecting.
Yep.
The other one, definitely the dirt mile.
Okay.
The dirt mile.
So race
have a-
11.
have a very interesting combination. You have a horse that have the highest concept from Bob Buffer's barn, which is Nisos.
Yes.
I spoke yesterday with actually the exercise rider for the 3 horses of Bob Buffer.
Okay.
Humberto Gomez.
Yeah.
He's the exercise rider for Citizen Bull, Goal Oriented, and Nisos.
Nice.
He tells.
By the
me-
way, this is why I have Carlos on,
yeah,
because he can talk to all these guys. Keep going. Yes.
and he tell me Citizen Bull has become more horse.
Yeah.
He has regained more. He has regained that.
He's grown up.
He has grown up, but
He's
also,
maturing, right?
but also the attitude. This
Okay.
horse has like now
Sits
he
at Derby
does
even.
what he's asked,
Cool.
and that's
Big difference.
big difference.
Yep.
But he likes highly Nisos,
Okay.
and Nisos is like this horse that has a lot of power, a lot of talent. I know this is a horse with issues. This is the reason why he has such a short campaign. But if he need to pick between the 3 of them,
Yeah.
it would be Nisos.
Interesting.
And the other definitely the South American, not just Full Serrano, that is coming back to
Defend, yeah.
defend his last year's championship, if you may say so, but also Touch of Destiny.
Okay.
The
You're a
Uruguayan
wine
horse.
bread. Yeah. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an unbeaten horse that ran in Uruguay, and let's just put this in the mix. He beat the 3-year-old horses as a 2-year-old. So, and this is now a 3-year-old
Yep.
horse that has a lot of talent. Michael McCarthy has shared a lot of happiness and reassured that
Excitement.
he feels excited about this horse.
Yeah.
He obviously he doesn't understand quite sure how this horse may run,
Sure.
but he's going to have the same jockey that he used to have back in Uruguay. So
Cáceres. Yep.
the guy, Luis Cáceres, that
Yep.
knows the horse, is going to be the one riding the horse. He has been also galloping here since 2 months ago.
Yep.
So everything
Put in a
is leading
bullet
up that
the other
way.
day, in fact, at Del Mar the other day.
Yeah.
I noticed that. It's an interesting thing. This is why the Breeders' Cup is awesome, is once in a while you have a horse like this. So this is your off the board long shot of the day then?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Michael McCarthy, if the times are correct, by the
Mhm.
way, and I want to point this out, that horse just ran a mile in a $1:34 and 1.
Yeah.
1:34 and 1 can win the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
Easily.
That can absolutely win.
Yeah.
And if the horse is on the improve or happens to like Del Mar
Mhm.
more than he does Maronas, there's a chance that, frankly, he just steps up and fires real hard here.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. That kind of price, when you're playing a late sequence, can really
Oh,
spice things up.
Totally.
Especially at a daily Breeders' Cup Saturday.
And the other one, I know that everybody will say like,
Sure.
oh, he's gonna talk about the classic. No, actually no. I'm gonna because sovereignty is out. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So the other one it will be the turf.
Okay.
The match
doubt about it. I
between
mean-
Rebels Romans and Mini Hawk. For me, that's priceless.
That is
Uh,
Breeders' Cup magic. It really
Breeders'
is.
Cup
It
magic.
really is.
For me, I'm going to be rooting for Rebels Romans, and
Okay.
I must confess, I had known this horse and seen this horse winning since back in 2021 when he won, and this is interesting, the UAE Derby in dirt. So this is such a versatile horse that he has run synthetic, he has run in dirt, he has won in both, and obviously he's the command for the turf. So Rebel Roman for me, it should be the winner. Post position 1, William Buick. So super happy with this post position.
Okay.
Charles Appleby spoke with him yesterday. He's very confident on how he has feel the horse here at the turf track. He knows the turf track here, so it would be lovely. Mini Hawk, she looks amazing,
Oh.
but definitely I'm going to be rooting for Rebels Romans.
Rebels Romance showed a new dimension being closer to the pace last year in the
Yes.
Breeders' Cup turf. The fact that the horse is that talented that he can change his
Mhm.
running style altogether for different races. You're right. Going on the rail again, we just saw him in the Turf Classic at Aqueduct do exactly that.
Mhm.
Smaller field for sure, but was willing to be much, much closer to the pace. And that's a new dynamic for him
Correct.
as he gets older that allows him, frankly, to not have to make that late charge at the end. And Bill Buick, boy, what a tactician he is once he's on the track, and should be able to give him a great, great bout there. Classic. Who's your winner?
Who's my winner? I think it will be between firstness and journalism.
Okay. A lot of buzz around journalism this week. Tell me why you like journalism.
What I have seen in the horse this week,
Yep.
it has caught my attention.
Okay.
I saw him training through the entire Triple Crown and even the Haskell, where I did cover all those different races the entire week. And this is a horse that has grown himself. He have improved his the way how he moved, his confidence. I think coming out of the second in the Pacific Classic behind firstness, and I think he has the talent. And honestly, sovereignty is out.
Right.
He's the second best of the 3-year-olds.
Sure.
And
Not a bad take.
that's there in
Yeah.
the results. So if we want to see an interesting match, I think that should be journalism and firstness.
There you go. All right. Well, he's Carlos Morales. Again, I hit this 305. Go check them out over there. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure I'll see you throughout the day. Thanks again for jumping on.
No
I
doubt
appreciate
about
you
it.
very much.
Good luck, everyone.
There we go.
Thank
All right.
you.
Appreciate Carlos Morales stopping by the Horse Racing Happy Hour. We're presented by AmWager and AmWager.com. AmWager.com. A 100% deposit match right now, up to $150 for new customers. Get involved with us over at AmWager and AmWager.com. Go check out that platform if you haven't. And we're going to bring in Forbes contributor Danny Brewer. Excited to do that because we learned earlier that the best bourbon in the world, according to Forbes magazine, is our partner, Never Say Die Bourbon. How about that? And what we like about Never Say Die Bourbon, they're all in on horse racing. And for that horse player in your life, you talk about a holiday gift as we get into November and December, something to bring to Thanksgiving or something as a, little stocking stuffer. Never Say Die Bourbon, man. That's it.
Oh, never.
And you
Say
got
Die.
to try the stuff at Kentucky Downs. I know you did.
Absolutely right. And the cool thing about Never Say Die is, if you know the story of that
Yes.
bourbon, it's named after a horse that won. He won over in England,
Yep.
a race that they hadn't won in like 40 years or 70 years,
Yep.
something like that. So it's named after a horse that they thought was going to die. They throw some bourbon in his mouth. Bam! He revived him, and here we go. Never Say Die.
There you go. Never Say Die. Indeed. Yesterday, any reactions to any of the races yesterday, real quick? Do you agree with sort of our summary of the track conditions as well? Where hey, turf playing real fair. Got to be near the front with the dirt though.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's absolutely the case. Ted Noffey, as advertised, I got a story on Forbes.com put out this morning. Early Derby favorite, very deserving. I mean, he was as advertised, which, on these days, you never know, especially in the 2-year-old races.
Ask East Avenue. Ask Dennis's moment.
Yes.
Ask him.
Absolutely right. You can come as a prohibitive favorite and get your hat handed to you. But he was as advertised yesterday. So very impressed with Ted Noffey.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I thought it was nice to see at the end of the day, Gestad run like he did. Barry even said to open the show here, it looked a little like Rebels Romance. And I wonder once in a while now with these trainers knowing that there are opportunities Belmont Invitational, those kinds of races where they can bring them over. And their horse likes those kinds of conditions, that flat race, the couple of turns. It just works for them. I wonder if we don't see Gstaad as a 3-year-old stateside a lot more.
I think we will.
Yeah.
I think we should, because there's good money over here.
Of course there is. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. And frankly, going up to Saratoga, not the end of the world if you're a European trader, I'm sure.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So there's a couple races I know you want to talk about today, Danny, but I wanted to, and the reason I wanted to have you on, Carlos able to go talk with exercise riders in their native language and do those things, get their real feelings about stuff. You and I, Anglophiles, of course. And so you've talked to a couple people, mutual friend of ours, Brooke Smith, part of the ownership team with Sierra Leone. What was your conversation like with Brooke, and what did he bring up?
Outstanding. Brooke Smith is a wonderful guy. He's part of what makes horse racing fabulous are guys like him. So he's heavily invested in it because, one of the quotes I said, man, tell me what horse racing has done for your life. And he said, horse racing is life.
Right.
Right.
And
so he's really involved and he's totally immersed. But Sierra Leone, he said, is coming in better than he's ever been. And so, I can't disagree with him. When you think about what may take place here, the race could set up very nicely for him. But I think because of how the track is playing, look for him to be closer. That was the key to me last year. Was Flavien Prat's ride. He kept Sierra Leone involved because his downfall in every one of his other races was he just waited too late to get running.
Yep.
Now, when he did get running early enough, he won.
Yep.
When he didn't, he would finish second or third.
Yep.
So Prat had him in the race a lot earlier last year. I think we'll see the same this year.
The thing with Sierra Leone, too, is if you – and I know the circumstances of the Jockey Club Gold Cup last out. The weird start, Irad sitting on his back for a second, all those kinds of things in that race. The interesting thing, because of all of that mess, is if you even just look at the running lines, when he won the Whitney, he was 4 lengths out with 2 furlongs to go. In the Jockey Club Gold Cup, where he ran second, he was 7.5 lengths out. He's going to have to repeat that Whitney from this year if he's going to win here. He's going to have to be within 3-4 lengths of the leader, especially at the top of this short stretch here at Del Mar.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Now, I think
and you're right as well that he did that last year.
No,
so he's capable for sure.
Pratt knows this track very well. He has been a champion jockey out here. So I think that Pratt is the man for the job.
Yep.
I think he will be closer because you are absolutely right. He's going to be in the superfecta. I think if you're a superfecta player, which I am, you have to have him in your super because he's going to be in the
never
top
misses
4.
The board.
Right? No, he doesn't miss the board at all. But I think he will be closer to the pace. If he wants to win, he has to be closer to the pace.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. He's Danny Brewer, by the way. Find him on Forbes at Sports Brew if you want to find him there as well. You also talked with Brendan Walsh in a horse that I've been high on essentially since I saw her in an allowance at Churchill Downs. And she goes from grade 3 to grade 1. That's Clico. She's going to run in the distaff today. She's just so professional, Danny, and just so mature for how few races she's been in, how light her campaign has been. Now, that's not criticism, by the way. They've campaigned her perfectly, right? She's winning all of her races. They're not doing anything wrong with her at all. That's not what I'm getting at, but rather just her maturity, even with the lack of experience that she's had. She acts like she's 5 or 6 years old. But what did Brendan Walsh tell you?
I think that Clico is a perfect example of the training brilliance of Brendan Walsh. He knows how to bring. He is an outstanding horseman. She's coming in right. She's on the muscle. He says she's matured even more. So even though I think 5 races, 4 wins and 5 starts, right?
Yep.
So she has been there. But even though it's light campaign, I think she's right. He likes how she is. She's on the muscle, and she's like I said, I think she could be the one in that race.
Brendan is not a guy for hyperbole. And he's not a guy that has lied to me very much, or if at all, frankly. And so if he says she's ready to go and she's a little bit more mature, I think that's true. I caught him right after the Indiana Oaks because we were up there covering it. And I just wanted to go find him and say, because I saw her in the winner's circle. Danny, you could have set off a firecracker in the winner's circle. She would have been like, okay,
right,
we're good. Are we going back to the barn now? Because I know that's where I'm going next. Like, she was just ready. And I found him after where they were doing a little celebration thing in Indiana, of course. I said, you got a serious one there, Brendan. He goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she's the real deal.
Yeah, she is. And his other horse in the race, Jin is not chopped liver. Jin won the Spencer.
Of course.
Took him gate to wire. So Jin could play a factor in this race. I don't know whether she'll win it or not, but she could absolutely play a factor because I think she's going to want to go straight to the lead.
We saw Baffert yesterday have the favorite in the juvenile fillies. He hasn't won that race since 2007. She comes up second. I don't think she ran poorly, did Explora. Super Corridor just got the jump on a fast track and kept the lead. Good for her, by the way. Great tactic yesterday. Seismic Beauty comes in here off the Clement Hirsch, the grade 1 here, right here at Del Mar, going a mile and a 16th. She's won the grade 2 Santa Margarita before at the distance at a mile and an eighth. Is she a deserving 8-5 favorite?
I think because she's Bob Baffert trained, yes. Now
He has never won this race.
The thing about it is it's amazing when you think about that with the success he's
Oh,
had.
goodness.
I'm going somewhere else.
Sure. Sure.
I like Clicquot. Nitrogen is a horse that has not gotten a lot of pizzazz. She was, of course, I talked to Mark Cassie a week ago or so, and Mark said, if you look at her dirt numbers, because she was turf brilliant early in her 3-year-old season, and then she changed to the dirt. He said, if you look at her dirt numbers, they're better than her turf numbers.
Yes.
And that's pretty incredible because she was a monster on the turf.
Interesting group there for sure. You also got to catch up with Librado Barroso, and this is a special edition of SoCal Saturdays. We talk about him a lot on this show. I wrote for the Sporting Tribune that I thought that I loved him putting Lovesick Blues in the I loved him doing that in the Bing Crosby, right here at Del Mar. Mostly a turf horse. He's been down the hill. He's done a lot of different things. But you were with Librado this week. What is his confidence level? 10-1 on the line. I think you're going to get every bit of that number with Lovesick Blues. What was his confidence level?
So I think really, really high. If it can work out and Lovesick Blues shocks the world and wins, this will be one of the greatest training moves of all time for Librado Barroso because he has a turf sprinter.
Yep.
He brings it to the Bing Crosby because he said he was screaming, because what he told me after the Bing was, hey, he was screaming to be on the dirt, screaming, and he runs his eyeballs out. Super fast pace in the Bing. I think it can be the same thing today. Super fast paced. He needs to be a little bit closer
for sure.
You're right. But after the Bing, he gave him time off, and then he put him in a Calbred stakes race down the hill at Santa Anita. Why would he do something like that? Why would he? Well, he didn't need to run the Santa Anita Sprint Championship because he was already in the Breeders' Cup. Why did he do that? It was basically an organized workout. Coming down the hill is not hard on horses. The first 2 or 3 furlongs, you don't really have to run because you're coming down the hill. He finished very, very strong. It was basically a paid workout. He picked up a 20 grand check for finishing second in that race. So basically got paid to work out.
Yep.
I think he's coming in right. So Lovesick Blues, there's a long shot play that I'll be playing for sure today.
Love it. Where else are you looking today? What else are you excited about?
I'm excited about everything because we got 9 grade ones worth $23 million. But the dirt mile. I think the dirt mile.
Gosh, you guys in the dirt mile. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah. So I think Nisos is for real.
Oh yeah.
I think he is absolutely for real. But Full Serrano is a freak on this track. He has proven that. He's a freak on this track. He won the race last year. And when you look at his first race he ever ran at Del Mar, he ran like 21-4 in the opening quarter for a mile race, and he won. He was leading, and he won.
I know.
And horses don't do that at Del Mar. So he's a freak at Del Mar. So that may be the one guy that I think might knock Nisos off is Full Serrano.
I agree with you.
It's
fully capable. I thought his Goodwood last out at a mile and a quarter was really good. He just doesn't want to go that far.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not holding a long race like that against him. I think the 2-turn mile for him is absolute perfection. And like you said, he's a monster right here at Del Mar.
Oh, totally. The Classic is so balanced.
Yep.
I mean, it's one of those races where, you almost close your eyes. You almost close your eyes and pick one, but when you think about the mile on turf, that's the turf sprint is always one of the most exciting races for me. AG Bullet, Kentucky Downs graduate, Bear River, Kentucky Downs graduate. Now, here's the thing.
He won at Ellis too, though. He can win on flat ground.
Yes, he can. And that's what makes him very, very dangerous because he has got the front end speed. Can it hold? You got Motorius in the turf sprint, who's a Del Mar specialist. Like I said, they're all.
Hadem is 9 years old. That's a cool field, man. It really is. That's a cool field.
Yeah. No. So like I said, there you can just go on and on and on. And the regular sprint, like Carlos was talking about, Bentornado. That's a very, which we talk about Lovesick Blues being it. That, like I said, they're all loaded. It's just 9 loaded races, which is wonderful.
Who you got in the Classic?
Classic. I'm gonna go Forever Young.
Okay.
I
don't hate that pick.
I think Japan is going to do it. I think Forever Young is a monster. When you look at
the paddock, he's unbelievable.
When you look at what he did in the Saudi Cup,
if he repeats that, he wins here. I agree.
Exactly. I mean, and so I think that Forever Young, but Sierra Leone, like I said, it's loaded.
You were here for the Pacific Classic. Fierceness, serious shot though. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He runs that race again. He wins, right?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Interesting. Can't start like that.
Perhaps.
Is the rail bad for him, do you think? Does he break again?
I don't think the rail's bad for him. I think that he'll be just fine.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I think he'll be just fine. You
Very
know,
unworried about Johnny V.
right.
Yeah,
You know,
right. Yeah.
journalism. The thing about it is, I think that if journalism were the journalism we'd seen earlier in the year,
Okay.
I think he could have ran Fierceness down.
Interesting. Okay.
But he wasn't, and
Okay.
he didn't. Now, is journalism better now than he was in the Pacific Classic? I think yes.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah, I think.
And I
yes.
like the rider change. I won't lie about that. I do like Umberto personally. He's a great interview. He's done a lot of stuff with us, but I think for that horse, Jose's a better match. Just in my mind, we'll see today for sure.
Jose Ortiz may be the Eclipse jockey, award-winning jockey. He has had a fantastic year. Churchill Downs, he won the riding title. Jose Ortiz has had a fantastic year. So I'm with you. I don't disagree
Very
with
few
that at all.
career moves the last couple of years better than Jose moving to Kentucky and New Orleans for his mounts. Spectacular concept, spectacular move by that group. I'm sure for his family too. He's got a bunch of young kids, probably got a little land in Kentucky now, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just an unbelievable move. And frankly, I think he's improved as a rider because of it. It's incredible.
It is incredible. Now, here's a question I got for you, Louis.
Sure.
Who's the bomber
I
that
love
maybe could
I got
upset the apple
I
cart
got
in
it.
the Classic?
Oh, and the classic,
Yeah, who's the bomber?
it's
that could
Nevada
upset
Beach. No doubt for me.
You think so?
Improving horse, wins the Goodwood. The distance did not bother him at all. Is going to run in Southern California again. I think it's Nevada Beach. And I think you're going to get a price like 15, 16 to 1.
Okay, so yeah, so here's the thing. 15 to 1 on a Bob Baffert trained horse in a grade 1 race. How about that? That tells you, that speaks to the depth of this race,
Totally agree.
man.
Yes.
I mean, but
I
I
think
I'm
that's
with you. Nevada Beach
Okay.
is a great play.
Because Antiquarian's just going to stay. He's just going to stay. And if it falls apart, he's going to be there. Right. And so Antiquarian, I've seen it. I know what that horse is. I think Nevada Beach could absolutely win the Classic. Like if I'm putting together a pick 3 or something, he's in it. And I think he's got a chance. And like I said, I think he's gonna be 15, 16 to 1.
Oh,
Even without sovereignty in there.
right, be a nice payday. Who else you got? Who's your other bomber you want to talk about?
Ethical Diamond is
Okay.
in the turf, will break from the 14. Was a hurdle horse until very recently. Trainer pulls him out of the hurdles, puts him on flat ground. Bill Buick rides twice, wins 2 Class 2 races at major tracks in Britain, gets over here, gets into the field. I don't know that he wins, but that horse is going to be like 50, 60 to 1. And I think he hits the board. I was right yesterday about the last race and Kazushi Kimura on, and I'm now forgetting the cow horse that Michael McCarthy
Mike
trains.
McCarthy trained, right?
Yeah, that ran second in that turf. I think it could be like that. I think he's coming in because you think about what hurdles are. Think about just humans. If you told someone, hey, go sprint, they can be really fast. Okay, now go hurdle. They have to learn how to do that. And they build up their muscles for that.
Right,
and then you take the hurdles out again. And you can say, go sprint. They're probably going to be faster.
It's all conditioning. That's right.
And so I think the conditioning for Ethical Diamond is going to make sense. I've talked about that horse too much. I'm going to ruin the price. But I think that's one coming in that if you want a Breeders' Cup story, it's Ethical Diamond.
There you go. Very good.
How about
Very
that?
good.
Well, Danny has 2 great sayings that I love. Back a horse and get paid, and have a hunch, bet a bunch. That's what I did in the exact. I followed your advice. I did that in the exact yesterday. Now I got to buy this guy dinner.
My
So there you-
boy, that's right. Yeah.
there you go. So Danny, I appreciate you very much. Thanks for jumping on Forbes.com, right?
Exactly.
Go to the sports page, find all of his coverage. What do you have up today?
Today I've got a story that I'm doing that I did on Ted Naffy that's out there now.
Awesome.
So, and then I'll do some stuff later on
Yeah.
as far as after we see what goes on here. We'll see what the big storyline is because there could be 9 different fantastic stories.
Probably not wrong.
9 grade 1 races, $23 million. Come on.
Let's have some fun. Let's make some money.
All
right, friend. Thank you so much. We'll get Barry Spears in here when he gets done talking to all the ladies over there. Hey, ladies, settle down. It's all right. We know what's going on over here. Dad shirts and sexiness. I get it. Barry Spears and shoes. Yes, right. But yes, again, this is the Horse Racing Happy Hour SoCal Saturday special edition here at Paddock Side at Del Mar ahead of Breeders' Cup Saturday 2025. We're presented by AmWager, amwager.com. Make sure you get in with them today. If you are a new customer, they have a 100% deposit match up to $150. A bunch of great tools, a beautiful, beautiful platform. Go check them out at amwager.com. And of course, our friends at Never Say Die Bourbon, Forbes Magazine's world's best bourbon. Great bourbon for the horse player in your life, maybe for Thanksgiving or even for a holiday gift. Heck, just go try it out if you're a bourbon drinker. Barry, get back in here, buddy. We've talked to Carlos. We've talked to Danny. And I know with you, you're looking forward to this turf race.
Absolutely.
Because you think you've got a chance to make some money. And you're looking at everybody else going, oh, it's Rebels Romance. And oh, it's Mini Hawk. And you're going, wait a minute. I thought this was the Breeders' Cup. I thought we were bringing awesome turf horses over here. And your thought is, we are bringing awesome horses over here. Which one caught your eye as you look through the form, watch those replays, who was it that you think has a shot to upset the apple cart and really, frankly, blow up that late pick 5? What percentage of the money on them? So where are they at the beginning of the pick 5? 8 through 12, okay?
Yeah.
What percentage of the money in the pick 5 will be on Rebels Romance and Mini Hawk? 80%?
Yeah, that's a good
75%, something like that.
Estimation.
Like some people will try to be like you and beat them, right? For sure. That's where you're going to get value is you have to play against horses like that once in a while, for sure. Try to beat a Nisos maybe in the lead sequence, that kind of thing. But who do you like in here? Because I'm fascinated by this horse too.
I went to number 3, Amalok. This horse is really, 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 really good. Was undefeated going into this year. Maintained that record all the way up until they went into the St. Ledger and lost to a horse who is actually the favorite in the Melbourne Cup.
Yep.
El Rifa. Lost by 4 lengths. Looked like a perfect setup for this race. This horse has the right running style, should be kind of close up, should be able to finish. And the horse that this horse lost to is no slouch at all. Probably that race is probably one of the better races that people aren't talking about.
What do you like about Amalok as far as style and different, do you think this is a horse that can stay near the pace? Is this one that's going to be coming out from out of the clouds? What do you think it's going to do?
As they say at Burger King, you can have it your way with Amalok. He does whatever you need him to do. He can be up close. He can be far back. He can finish as strong as anybody. I think here we just got used to horses like Mini Hawk coming in with the huge reputation and seeing Rebels Romance, however many times we have, that going another direction might not be the bad thing. And one thing about the Breeders' Cup that you can count on is they will remind you that it's the Breeders' Cup with all the long shots.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday, Valentina was a perfect example.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Valentina is probably the best example to make your case, frankly.
Right.
Happened yesterday. Now, the scratch and precise there it's a little different than what we'll see today, but frankly, Oisin Murphy makes the move there. You're getting a kind of a new rider for us there with Ryan coming over in that spot, but I think certainly a capable one here at Del Mar. What other races are you looking for? I know the Filly and Mare Turf, for example, you have a very strong opinion to close the card, but let's talk about the distaff, for example. You're also very into Clicquot in this spot. And for a lot of the same reasons we've been talking about, professionalism, just the development in general, Brendan Walsh being at the driving the bus there. What else do you like about her?
She's like the classic example of an improving horse at the right time. I mean, we saw her in Indiana, and we were just so impressed by her professionalism, how she finished that race off, didn't leave any doubt, and then moved forward out of that into the cotillion. That was an excellent race for her because I think it gave her that extra boost of confidence, especially her connections, that she can run at this level. I thought they were kind of unsure when they ran in the Indiana Derby. The cotillion stamped it, and now she's ready to move forward again. I think she's just peaking at the right time.
Baffert's never won this race.
That's weird.
It's an incredible statistic, frankly, considering the number of really great fillies he's had, and frankly done a great job with. Right? I mean, think of the Abel Tasmans of the world, etc. I use that name all the time. Hi, Rich. I hope you're having a great day, buddy. But he comes in with Seismic Beauty, and she's going to be the favorite. Frankly, she's probably a deserving favorite in this spot, right? Absolutely. Comes out of that grade 1 Clement Hirsch. Do you give her a serious shot here? Would you include her in a multi-race, or is it just, hey, the value's not there? And frankly, Baffert's never won this thing. And we watched him, by the way, he hasn't won the juvenile fillies since 2007. Didn't get it done yesterday with Explorer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real tough decision for gamblers because of the fact that she has the best numbers out of anybody. She's very legitimate. But this is the Breeders' Cup. You're going against the best of the best. Connections try different things. Things happen. It's not all, like an automatic gift that this horse is going to be on the lead winging it by herself. And I think that plays into this. But in a multi-race situation, you kind of have to use that one because of the fact that she stands out on numbers. Yeah,
numbers do for sure. And frankly, if you go back and watch that Clement Hirsch, you see a horse that can win the Breeders' Cup for sure. Around that time will be the Turf, but after that will be the Classic. And I always ask people for their Classic picks. You've been strong on this all week, and frankly, you were before the Scratch of Sovereignty even. So I'm sure you feel even more confident in your selection here. A fierceness breaking from the rail. So tell me the combination of things that got you there. Is it the talent? Is it Pletcher? Is it Johnny V? Is it that Pacific Classic? Is it how he ran here last year? For me, it's how he runs at Del Mar. He seems to love it here. Seems to be a good setup for him because he wants to be near the lead. What do you like about Fierceness?
Well, I liked Fierceness from the beginning, and I almost got offended when people were saying that he was an every other type horse because I saw what was going on. He was short early on in the Florida races. He came back and ran a huge Florida Derby, and that was his true self. And he's been in some positions where he wasn't able to do that. They freshened him up. He came back stronger than ever.
Yep.
His Pacific Classic was excellent out here. And I think he's just got the right running style for this thing. I've been saying all week that it might be a race within a race where Contrary Thinking kind of goes out on his own and Fierceness kind of does what he would normally do just with another horse in front of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of slow the pace enough, and stretch people out and then have enough to finish.
And Pletcher's got to have known the rabbit was coming.
Correct.
Right? We've seen it already a couple times at Saratoga, so I'm sure they've trained him up to this moment. Let's go through the classic field here together. Barry Baez is going to break from the two. Obviously, the John Sheriffs and Hector Barrios combination. I was so happy to see Hector still on this horse. Wins the Juvenile Fillies yesterday aboard Super Corredora, so obviously already got a win in the Breeders' Cup here. Is Baeza the overlooked 3-year-old in this field? Because we've talked about journalism ad nauseum this year for good reason. By the way, he's had an excellent campaign. In any year that Sovereignty's not around, we think of journalism as an absolute super horse. With Nevada Beach getting a lot of the Baffert talk, are we overlooking Baeza? Why are we doing that?
Because he kind of had to go away from the top 3-year-olds to win. And that didn't spell very well for his class, as far as this race is concerned. But I think that he's definitely has the talent to win a race like this, but I don't think he's going to get the ideal setup, and the other closers are faster than him. So I think he's got the potential to be in the picture, just not on top.
It's interesting as well because we saw Baeza in the Pennsylvania Derby. He spent his entire career running in restricted races, but against age-appropriate races, let's call it that. Nevada Beach tries company. He'll break from the 3 here, Bob Baffert and Mike Smith. Mike Smith keeps the mount here. He had been aboard. Juan Hernandez had been aboard previously, but Mike Smith keeps the mount here. Goes ahead, wins the Grade 1 Goodwood against older horses. Full Serrano's in that field, man, and I don't think Full Serrano wants to go a mile and an eighth. So, I mean, that part of it does stand out, but I think Full Serrano might win a Breeders' Cup race today.
Again.
For sure, right?
Sure.
And he's a Breeders' Cup champ. Nevada Beach, give him a chance today?
You kind of have to because, as Bob Baffert's weekend is going so far, not very good. And when you start to doubt him, that's when he comes back with the horse that you didn't think about. And I think Nevada Beach is exactly that horse. He's improving as well. Again, I don't think the 3-year-olds are as good as the 4-year-olds, but you never know with a horse like Nevada Beach on their home court and getting a good trip, because this horse is going to try to get that trip right behind Fierceness and be able to outfinish them. You never know in a race like this where things happen in front of you, and Nevada Beach is the beneficiary of it.
Contrary Thinking is in here. You and I ran into Chad Brown yesterday. Actually,
Yes,
right here at the paddock, and he was in a good mood, man.
Absolutely.
Dude was in a good mood.
I don't think he's ever in a bad mood, is he?
This could have been a stressful time.
True.
But he was in a good mood, and whatever that means, I don't know. But he's got Contrary Thinking in here. Obviously, this isn't a contender in this spot. I wanted to ask you just the simple question: are you okay with a rabbit in here? I am.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the game.
Yep.
Like,
okay.
That's absolutely it. We've seen it before in the Breeders' Cups and everything. Yep. I don't know why it's a controversy now of all times, but here we are, and it's all right. Contrary Thinking he's not going to win, but he's going to help.
By the way, if you want to give us your classic picks or anything like that, you want to see them on screen, go ahead and text those into us in the comments section. Forever Young comes over. And this is now the buzz horse in the classic. Mm-hmm. I think it's not even a question. Him and journalism are getting a lot of buzz ahead of this race. You're the only person talking about Fierceness. I feel like I'm the only one talking about Sierra Leone, and then Danny shut up, thank God. But Forever Young in this spot, obviously the Hoggy Barn, Sakai comes over to ride again. They gave him kind of that nip on TV, kind of easy spot. They ran that in 152, whatever, just kind of a stretch your legs, win by open lengths. Frankly, I don't know a single other horse in that race. So I don't think it was much of anything for that. It reminds me a little bit of what Jose D'Angelo did with Ben Tornado at Churchill Downs. Get him in some company where he's going to have to go fast, but he's going to get some confidence from that. Kind of a confidence booster coming in here. But boy, if we get that Saudi Cup version of Forever Young, he could win here.
Absolutely. And he fills the spot that Sovereignty had. But looking at this horse on Thursday, he looks like an absolute monster. And I think he's going to run his best race.
Okay.
I really think he's going to show up. He looks dead fit for a horse that really hasn't run much this year. And I think he's sitting on a pretty big race.
2 for 3 this year, 9 for 12 lifetime. Has a chance to go over 20 million in earnings with a win here at Del Mar. Obviously, Sovereignty scratched today. Would he have been your top pick, or would you have stuck with Fierceness?
No, I would have stuck with Fierceness. I think Fierceness is just good enough to be able to outkick that horse, with a little head start.
Sierra Leone will break from the 7, defending champ here. We saw his best running this year. Frankly, he ran well in the Foster. If that race is at 1.25 miles, I think he does catch up with Mindframe. Probably. He'll get the 1.25 miles here. In the Whitney, he wins there. Jockey Club Gold Cup, I say that, a weird race for sure. I'm not drawing a line through it in his case for sure, but I do think it caused him to be a little bit further back than Flavien Prat wanted to be.
Sure.
Can he stay close to this pace this year?
It's a tough call. I mean, the way the track was playing yesterday, I think he's going to be up against it. We got to watch early to see what happens with the track, but not being forwardly placed is really a bad thing, even with the Rabbit setting the pace. I mean, I don't think the Rabbit really wants to go this far, but that's why I say that Fierceness kind of has a little bit of an advantage here. But as far as if everything plays out like it did yesterday, I think Sierra Leone's going to have some problems.
It's going to be difficult to make that move. I think we said the same thing last year. So Dan Issel, by the way, on my radio show, did pick Sierra Leone again, and it thinks of him as the best in the field. I think of him as but after seeing Forever Young, he and Forever Young to me are like the physically most, oh my goodness, in the race. Fierceness just looks fast. He's got a fast look to him, which I really love. Another horse that is really physically gifted is Mindframe. We saw him win at 7 furlongs in the Churchill Downs. Oh, Louis, who did he beat in that race? Oh, only Banishing and Nisos and Bookham freaking Dano, who swept all the stakes at Saratoga this summer. Comes back, wins Churchill Downs' classic for the summer in the Stephen Foster, beats Sierra Leone, first mission out of the Brad Cox barn, etc. to do it. The craziness of the race in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. We talked about this at our seminar on Tuesday. He loses the rider, and then he loses his way. And he doesn't keep pace with the horses, doesn't finish. It bothered Sean Collins, my co-host there at Blood Horse Monday. And then we talked with a jock. And I want you to explain that story, but we asked a jock about it, and he said, I agree with Sean.
Yeah, I mean, he expressed that it was a...
And who's the jock?
Oh,
give our boy a shout out.
Vernon Bush, my
How about
man.
that? There you go. Suffolk Downs, shout out.
Rockingham Park. But he was really shocked that the horse didn't kind of stay focused.
Didn't do the job.
And run his race.
Right,
yes.
yeah.
Which is interesting. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
It's something to keep in mind. I didn't
Vernon
really...
he started nodding right away. He was like, yes, that is right. And I thought, oh my goodness. He said, even a dime claimer's going to go run.
Right.
Nickel claimer's going to go run.
And it's a good point. I mean, it's something I never had thought about until it was brought up. And it's something to think about here because Mindframe has probably the same amount of negatives as positives coming into this race. He's a freak of nature. I mean, if you look at his past performances, I mean, he runs every time.
So by the way, he's run at 7. He's won at, 7, 8, and 9 this year. Okay. In the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Mile. Okay. In the Grade 1 Churchill Downs, and in the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. If that horse shows up today, I think he's got a serious shot. I talked with Bob Ehalt from Blood Horse yesterday, and he's the New York guy there. And he said, look, I think it's a coin toss of the older horses. Mindframe's going to be the longest odds on the board. And he said, I understand your concerns about the Jockey Club Gold Cup, but this is Todd Pletcher at the end of the day. I trust him more than the past performances show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's certainly an angle.
Just even the distance, who knows? I mean, he hasn't really run this distance, but
he was good in the Belmont last year.
He was good in the Belmont, but it's hard to tell what he's going to do. It seems so long ago. It's like, what is he going to do now? And he's a real question mark. And sometimes those are the ones you kind of have to go to because the price is right, like Bob was saying.
That's exactly right. Journalism will break from
Not
the
Bob
9.
Barker, by the way.
Price is wrong, Bob. Journalism here. Michael McCarthy, of course, making the move to Jose Ortiz. We have not really talked about that on this program. Do you like the move?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think the riding styles make a whole lot of difference. I mean, we saw in the Haskell where journalism kind of got behind a little bit, and it happened twice. So I don't think, getting in trouble in like a 5-6 horse race is ideal.
Right.
And they want to kind of get away from that. So I think Jose's going to try to keep him clear and in a good spot to be ready to close on the front runners. But he just he's got a lot of second-itis, and that keeps happening, and it's a little concerning at this point.
I'll be interested because everybody loves workouts, and I'm not hating on workouts at all. He's such a workout warrior, right? You play basketball, those guys, they never missed a 3 in practice,
man,
and then they get in a game.
Look, all world.
And it's not different in horse
airport
racing.
Team.
There it is.
They look good coming in the
off
airport.
the plane, off the bus.
Right.
You off the bus, all stars.
Not as good.
By the way, you know how it's a big day. I know it's a big day. Sean Collins has a necktie on. That's how I know it's a big day.
Man.
Sean Collins has a necktie on. He looks miserable. It's that kind of thing. I need Sean on screen. Get in here, buddy. I need you in here. Just for our guy Sean Collins has a tie on. No pattern at all because Sean is not buying a pattern. Actually, you look nice, dude.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say about
this.
that.
This is one of the rare occasions in the year in which I'm actually in a suit. It takes the Derby, it takes the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's pretty much.
You're not even in a suit. You just got a blazer on. All right. So your classic pick.
Classic pick. I gotta go. I feel like I have to go with fierceness.
Okay.
I just think
okay.
Naturally talented.
Yep.
Just on natural talent, I think he is the best. He's got a lot of quirks. And as long as he can overcome those quirks, I think that he can do it this year. I don't think the pace is going to be as fast as it was last year. So I think he'll be fine when it comes to that. I think Sierra Leone's going to come running at the end like he always does. He'll get second or third. Obviously, I'm a big journalism fan, so I'm hoping that journalism runs well.
Sure.
But I don't know. What I saw in the Pacific Classic, you know how big a journalism fan I am and how much I was singing his praises. I didn't really like his Pacific Classic. Now, rider change, yes, but I'm just wondering, especially now, not only did we see that race, but seeing Gosger and Bracket Buster come back in the Fayette Stakes and get beat by the older horses, I'm starting to think, okay, maybe the 3-year-olds are just a little tick below the older horses. At this
Outside
point.
of Sovereignty, of course.
We don't know.
So,
we don't know whether Sovereignty.
That's a great point by you. Yep. Yeah, it's a great point by you.
So
all right,
we'll find out today. I'll be rooting for journalism personally, but I think I have to go fierceness for
there you go. Our episode is up right now. Breeders' Cup, a Saturday preview as well over at bloodhorse.com. You can go find that there. And, of course, on their socials, YouTube, and on Spotify. Bring Barry back in to finish out the field here in the Classic. Antiquarian will break from the 10. I think a must include if you're playing an exacta trifecta on this day, at least, because he is a stayer, right? He does finish well.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of was the beneficiary of some good fortune in the Jockey Cup Gold Cup. But honestly,
but back-to-back 10 furlong races, the Suburban and the Jockey Club Gold Cup, both at 2 minutes and 2. That's a normal time. He's running really well, frankly.
Yeah, he could fall into a nice trip and hit the board here. I'm not.
And
really
Pletcher doesn't ship him if he thinks he's got nothing here, right?
Correct.
I mean, this is he's got 2 Rapolis and a Centennial Farm. He's not doing that by accident.
Yeah, correct. I think he thinks that this horse is loaded and probably has a good race in him. I'm not sure they're really fond of this post position, but we'll see. They'll have to do something.
You have a horse that you want to share at the end of the card. And this is a Barry Spears special. Okay. Yeah. This is and if you watch SoCal Saturdays, you have heard Barry give out these kinds of picks. By the way, Barry Spears, Louis Rabeau, thanks for hanging out with us. Of course, we are paddock side here at Del Mar. I apologize for the lighting. We did what we could. The Be Your Best is coming in, and someone's going to look down and see a Flower Bowl from August where they finished third under Edgard Zayas. And they're going to see Tyler aboard in the Beverly Dia Colonial, not able to keep up with whatever Charlene's dream is, okay? And they're going to try to figure out why Barry is here. And then if you go back to the Gamely, you see a very interesting horse. And frankly, if you go back to that Pegasus World Cup filly Mare Turf, you see an extraordinarily interesting horse that ran a style that I think can play here today. Talk us through this pick here. Why do you like Be Your Best so much?
Well, there doesn't seem to be a lot of speed in that race. I mean, Stellify looks like the lone speed, and Be Your Best looks like the second speed that's going to stalk. Everybody else kind of wants to close. And I think that might be problematic for them because I don't think the pace is going to be fast enough for them to just close in. They can. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it's a lot harder to do. And Be Your Best has shown the ability to stalk and pounce and finish races off. She did it in the Pegasus World Cup turf, and I think they get that same setup, same trip. The only thing is, I hope Safi and the connections are listening right now because they don't want to go too slow to keep the closers in the race. They want to go fast enough to stretch them out to where it's going to be work for them to catch up.
Yep.
And that's the ideal trip. They get that trip, I think they get to the winner's circle today.
What if they get the lead here? Do you trust Irad to rate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. He
Okay.
did in the game lead.
Yep.
He understands this horse. I don't think she's particularly easy to ride, just looking at her past performances. And it seemed like he kind of figured it out. They sent her out here,
Yep.
I think, specifically to get a horse ready for this event.
Well, Fred, that wraps our shows for the week. A couple radio shows, bunch of Blood Horse stuff. Of course, happy hour here. Want to thank our friends at Amwager and Amwager.com. Check them out right now for a 100% deposit match up to $150. Great platform over there. Double your bankroll for Breeders' Cup 2025 today with our friends at Amwager and Amwager.com. Don't need a promo code. That's just how they want you to just get in. They don't want you to have to type anything in. Get in with them that way. And, of course, our friends at Never Say Die Bourbon, neversaydieBourbon.com. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us throughout the week. Barry, I am so glad we got to do this together.
Yeah.
Thanks for making the trip to Louisville to do the seminar and certainly coming out here to San Diego. To Sean Collins and, of course, our guests on this program, Carlos Morales from Agentes 305, and, of course, Danny Brewer from Forbes, a contributor over there. I'm Louis Rabeau, Horse Racing Happy Hour, SoCal Saturdays. We appreciate you very much. Have a great Saturday and happy Breeders' Cup 2025.